What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Nobody podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Sexton. This podcast is a place for truth, transformation, and grounded conversations. I'm here to share my journey, messy, real, and beautiful. I'm learning to live by alignment and not by force. And in doing this, I hope that I can inspire others to do the same. Hello, guys. Welcome, chat. We got some stuff to cover. I want to preface this by saying that I am not affiliated with any political party. I do not hold the ideals of any one centric or ideology. So I would like to touch on the thing that we've all been talking about lately. Unfortunately, there's been a major tragedy that has happened in the United States recently, and I call this a tragedy because a person, a living, breathing human being on this planet has lost their lives in a horrific way. And I believe that I do not have enough information to speak too far. I am not going to dive into conspiracies. I will save that for personal conversations that I will be having about this specific subject. I simply want to make aware and to really, really emphasize the fact that you need to always do your own research. Never, ever let a 30-second clip manipulate you enough to believe it to be fact. Please, please, please do research. Look at the full videos. Look at the full text. Wait to get context before you make a snap judgment about any one thing, any one person on this planet. If you do not know them directly and cannot speak on their character for a fact, do not allow propaganda to infiltrate your higher thinking, and make sure to have discernment. I will say right now, I feel validated in the things that I had spoken on previously in other podcasts, saying that there was a major shift happening and we all could feel it. And I feel like the events that happened last week have brought things to a head. We are coming to a time where things are to be revealed, and we really, really have to be smart. We have to have discernment and have our feet firmly on the ground and be able to question everything. Question what you see, question what you hear, question what other people are saying. Always use that discernment to be able to make reasonable and safe decisions. I think that we're at a time now where you can't always even trust what you see. You really have to go inward and figure out what you are allowing around you and the people that you are allowing around you. Are they promoting your highest good, or are you repeating a cycle? You really, really, really need to be aware of your surroundings. Now, I have heard some things that have been, I'm kind of side-eyeing right now. This whole thing about the rapture coming September 27th or the 23rd. I can't remember what date they said. Like I said, whether or not you are leaning more toward the radical ideology that the rapture is coming at a set date, or if you lean more toward what we were told, which is we will not know the day and the time. We will not know the hour at which this will all culminate. But I will say that just keep your eyes open and keep your faith strong no matter where that lies. I personally follow the teachings of Jesus, both the philosophies and the guidelines that he set forth for all of us. And so I have given my life to Christ in that way. The Christ consciousness is within me. I have my own personal beliefs on when the rapture is going to happen, and if it's already happened, who knows? Maybe it has. I personally believe that when I'm only going to say this one time. I personally believe that when Paul speaks of the coming of Christ, it's never going to happen again in the physical world. It has to happen within. Christ already died. God made his message very clear when Jesus died. And for us to believe that the physical body would come down again, I don't believe that. I do believe that the rapture happens within, and it has been happening. And that is something that is personal to me. That will not be debated. I will not argue with anyone over it. It is either you know it or you don't, and we can leave it there. Um, that's all I'm going to say about that. Moving on. With that said, I just want to say a really big congratulations to our friends Megan and Hunter Morris, Mr. and Mrs. Morris. Andy and I played at their wedding over the weekend, and it was beautiful. There is a farm out in Fortville called Wild Blackberry Farms, and my goodness, want to talk about a fun time. Man, oh man. I may have had a few, may have had a few more than a few, but we had a blast. It was beautiful. It was so lovely that it rained a little bit, which is always good luck. And then it rained for a little bit on and off. And then when their wedding happened, it had to stop for just long enough. And then it would pick back up for a second just to keep it nice and cool. And then it was fine. But the night we just danced our little booties off, and it was such a blast. And we're so lucky that we get to perform for our friends and family. It's just I mean, we've done weddings before. You hear that doggo? Listen to that doggy in the background. Get out of here. All right. Sorry. Squirrel. Being able to perform for people that you genuinely like and love is just a different vibe. We've played other weddings before, and I've definitely played my share of weddings. But when you have formed a relationship with these people and you've seen them and you love them, it's just like a whole different feeling. And it was so nice to share the stage with the love of my life. So, I mean, it was just a romantical weekend. We had a blast, and we look forward to the next one. With that said, make sure to book the regulators for your next wedding. You need entertainment? You like country music? You like love songs? Book us. You can find us at booking the regulators at gmail.com, or you can reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram. We are the real regulators _ on Instagram. Please find us there. We love love. We love to eat, and we're well priced. Honestly, if you feed us and tell me I'm pretty, that's all I need. Andy will say otherwise. He prefers cold hard cash. But you know what? That's fine. So our first, second, and third podcast episodes were about accountability, following up on accountability, and just ensuring that you understand that the road to healing is it's an ever-changing road. One day you could feel better than the next, and it doesn't matter how long. Sometimes patterns tend to creep back up. Just when you think you've broken a pattern, it shows back up somehow, some way. I personally have been struggling with my pattern of self-sabotage and depression. That ties into my ADHD that I have. I am more ADD. Hyperactivity is, I can sit, but my brain never stops. It never stops going off. It never really slows down until I focus on making it do that. I don't naturally have quiet time in my head. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming of really weird stuff, and people are talking to me in my dreams. So I be talking in the astral realm, the dream space. I still have conversations there, and I am thankful for that, because I have heard that some people don't dream or they don't remember their dreams ever. Psh. I've had some very odd, well, I wouldn't say odd, just very clear dreams where the sign that I was being given or the point that was trying to be made in the dream was very clear, and it is scary. It is scary accurate how on point some of these dreams have been. I honestly I can't really speak on some of them because they deal with people in my life and I don't want to put their business out there like that. But I have dreamed about a specific person so many times that when the news came that something happened with them, or that the person that I was dreaming about, the scenario that I was dreaming about has come to fruition, that is some next level type diabolical alignment. Can I say diabolical alignment? Radical alignment. Because I stay in my own lane. Like, I love it in my lane. My lane is clear. It is mine and it is not yours. But when I dream of someone and then I get some confirmation, I'm just like, oh my God, keep it up. Keep it up. Spirit, tell me more. Lately, I've been struggling with my anxiety and depression. I have felt myself regressing back into old patterns of just really, really deep sadness, which ultimately leaves me kind of empty and definitely it tends to lead to self-sabotage. I will say that I have a wonderful partner who can usually recognize these signs in me pretty early and can help me divert, can help me redirect, and can help me work through my emotions without making me feel guilty, which is really important. If someone in your life, if you have any kind of imbalance in your body, it can lead to depression, whether it be with women, especially with PMDD, with PMS, with PCOS, with any kind of just disorder when it comes to your reproductive hormones. Um, it leads to depression. Depression is very prevalent when it comes to these types of disorders, and the same with men with low testosterone. They struggle as well. But it's really hard to maintain that. You have to get to the root of the problem, and a lot of people think, "Oh, it's my brain, it's my brain." Whole time they just need magnesium and copper and zinc, and they need to supplement and take herbs and learn to manage their cortisol levels and stress, and then you can treat the depression. But not a lot of people know that, so they just think, oh, I'm depressed, I have depression. It's like, well, yes, you have depression, but it is because of XYZ. And I often say that depression is less, I'm not saying that it's not a disorder, I'm not saying that someone can't just strictly have depression, but I would be I feel safe enough in saying that 9 out of 10 times it is something different. It's something deeper than just depression, if that makes sense. There is a root to that other than just depression. I feel like it's most commonly a side effect of something deeper going on in the body. And I have been doing my best to do the research and really work hard to balance that out. But I have been under a lot of pressure. I am embarking on something that I feel like I am screaming into the void. My healing and everything that I went through I was so quiet about. I don't want to say that I was quiet about it because I did confide in people, but like the trauma and the things from my past, I tried to bury for so long. And now that I'm on a journey of healing and have really busted this wide open, I am realizing that I have blacked out a lot of things that I didn't even necessarily think were a problem anymore. And they have come to the surface big time because I've healed a lot of the most recent trauma I've gone through. But then I realized that my memories from beyond that time are very gone. they're very pushed out of my brain. And I've had two different lines of thinking with this. I do believe it is a blessing, right? Because my childhood trauma is a little complicated because my parents weren't aware of the imbalances that were happening in their body, and the disorders that they struggled with. They weren't diagnosed, is what I'm saying. My mother is very open about her very late in life diagnosis with bipolar disorder and extreme ADHD that is triggered and by deep trauma. She is such a, and I want to say I love my mother deeply, truly. She has been my biggest advocate in life, my later life. I will say this, once she was diagnosed and treating herself, she really has advocated for my healing, and she has taken a lot of accountability for the things that I had to go through as a child that I didn't deserve. And there has been a lot of healing from my end where I realized that my mother was hurting. She was traumatized in her early years, and she was simply trying to survive. And she was surviving in a time where women were just called crazy. Instead of anybody just looking into maybe a deeper rooted issue, they were just called crazy. Oh, it's PMS. It must be her time of month. No, she's manic bipolar and going through a mania, and maybe she shouldn't go pack up her bags and move cross country and live in homeless shelters across the United States. And maybe she shouldn't randomly quit her job and just move across country. But that is her story, and we will talk to her. I will be getting my mom's story, and you guys will hear how wonderful and transformative and great life can be, even when you're at your absolute worst. My mom makes us all we look like angels. We look like saints. The things that she's seen, the things that she's experienced, the pain she had to endure in a time where society really wasn't on her side. Being a young mother, being a mother that gets pregnant at 45. She had my brother at 18, and then all of us. And then she had my youngest sister at 45 years old. She is a warrior. She went back to college at 45, had a baby, and still got her master's degree before she was 60 years old. I'm so proud of her as a person. She is one of my best friends. Like, if other lives existed, I know my mom was my best friend. And I told her, I said, girl, if we would have been born at the same time, you'd have been a bad influence. She claims she's an angel, but I heard some stories about her. But we will get into that, and she can confirm or deny whatever she wants when we do that interview. Love you, Pammy. You're the best. And, same for my father. I would love to interview him. He lives all the way in North Carolina where my family is. So if and when that happens, which I do plan on making that happen, it'll have to be kind of a special episode. I'll have to do some traveling, which I do plan on doing. I'd love to immerse you guys in where I really came from, where I lived the majority of my life. And I would love to share the history of that. And that all ties into this documentary, Diary of a Nobody. It's a nobody's journey in discovering who the heck she is, just so I can make my small little ripple in this large pond, and do as much good and spread as much love as I possibly can. Moving on. I really want to say thank you to those who are still listening to the podcast. It's been interesting because every time I start to create some sort of plan something happens to where I'm like, now's probably not the time. And so I'm just really trying to follow my intuition on what I want to speak about and how far I want to go with this. Today, I really wanted to open up the conversation of doing your own research. I can't believe that I even have to say this, but a 30-second clip of anything is not enough time or material to make a judgment on any subject. Other than maybe mixing paint colors because blue and red makes purple and it doesn't take that long to mix it up and show you that. But other than that, I don't think we should be basing our judgments on propaganda or even little clips and things. Please, please hear me out. Listen to the whole thing first. Find out who that person is before you decide that their life is worth more than another or worth less. Just remember that we are all human beings, and it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy. No matter what you believe, no matter what side of the aisle you choose, humanity should be the center where it joins us all together. And I just can't imagine a world where a child can see their father murdered in front of their eyes is ever acceptable. That a wife has to watch her husband die and there's nothing they can do about it. That's a tragedy. Any human life lost is a tragedy. And the means by which this life was lost is just absolutely devastating. It truly is. It hurts my heart to think about these little babies who are going to have to live with that. And the wife that has to live with the image. Her final moments, the final moments with her husband were so gruesome. And it's so sad. Like I said, I don't care what ideology you align with. And genuinely, I pray for those who rejoice in that. I do, because I pray that you never have to experience what they have to go through moving forward. The pain of loss is great. The way the loss happened, that's all I'm going to say. Things are tough right now. And when it comes down to the argument about morality, I stick with this simple thing. It's like, what does the word say? What does the word say? I value all human life. Now, do I believe in righteous anger? Yes. I think that people have a right to be angry about things that may have been said that could have been said differently. But what I don't appreciate is when people, like I said, make assumptions based off of someone else's opinion. And by not doing their research. I just recommend do your research. I'm just going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Do your own research. Rise above. Do better. Be better. Be the change. And if you don't agree with what someone's doing, if you don't agree with what they say, you do not have to align yourself with the ideals. And you do your best to be your best. And you love everybody. That's the end of that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because it's unfortunate that we live in a world where we have to be careful of what opinions we share with people. We have to be careful how we phrase things, because anything can be taken well out of context to the extreme, I feel, these days. I just urge everyone, please do your own research. Research history. Don't necessarily believe everything you hear. Be smart. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your mind, protect your soul. Do not lose yourself in hate. Do not lose yourself in anger. At the very least, be neutral enough to reserve your energy for things that actually matter. You know, Mama said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I'm going to take it one step further. If you can't base your statements in fact, just be quiet. Have the gall to say, I don't know enough about this subject. I'm going to keep my opinion to myself until I have further information. And leave it at that. I get really frustrated when people speak on things that they don't know anything about, or that they've spent one day researching and can make a snap judgment based off of somebody else's opinion. Oh, golly, please stop doing that. I don't deal in absolutes. I deal in faith and I deal in facts. And I believe that two things can be true at the same time. Someone can be a human being worth love, worth respecting the life of, and not be the best person, or can be arrogant or one-sided. But two things, like I said, can be true at the same time. And that's it. I know I said that's all I was going to say like 4 or 5 different times, but that's all I'm going to say on that. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. And I really, really hope that this time we can all just take a step back and really focus on what's important. And honestly, that's what I've been doing these days. I'm loving on those. You know what? I'm loving on everybody. Even those who don't love me or love on me, I'm still loving on them. I'm complimenting strangers. I'm looking people in the eye. I'm holding doors open. I'm inconveniencing myself to help another person. I am doing what needs to be done to show the world, to show the universe, to show everyone around me that love is still strong and it still reigns over everything. It is above all things. And I just urge everyone to do that. Take a little bit of time. It does matter. A smile matters. A thank you matters. A you look beautiful today matters. It's I like your socks. It's I like your shoes. You look really beautiful right now. It's taking that time to appreciate the beauty all around us, in everyone around us. They want us divided. They want us ill-informed. They want us scared of each other, which I think is crazy. We need each other more than ever. Do not let this time divide us. We need to join hand in hand and stand strong in the truth. Even if this rapture that they're claiming happens, why should you fear? Death is inevitable. That's the easiest part of life. Life is hard. Death is easy. Death takes nothing. Living is everything. And what you do with your time on this planet means something. If you aren't sure, let me be the one to confirm it for you. Every human being is like a piece of a bigger puzzle. They're part of the bigger picture. And when we end someone's life too soon, that piece is missing forever. We can't complete the picture. And sometimes we need darkness to contrast the light in the picture. I just really hope you're taking care of yourself and taking care of your mental health. Don't let this time get you down. Don't. Seriously. Stay strong. Hold on for dear life. And love everybody. Moving on. So yesterday was my Audrey, my middle child's 8th birthday, and we got her ears pierced. I know. She's been begging for months. And I said, okay, yeah, we'll do it for your birthday. The thing about Audrey Rose is that she has what we like to call her fairy ear, or a special ear, where her earlobe did not fully attach. So she's got, it looks like a little elf ear. It's very unique and very beautiful, and it just makes her so special. And thankfully, she has enough of a lobe intact to where she could get it pierced. So she has pierced ears. Also, shout out to Irish Tattoo Studio and Piercing on Southside Indianapolis, near Greenwood 135 and County Line Road. They did a phenomenal job. They were so nice. The girl at the front desk, the piercer, professional, sweet as can be. I mean, my daughter's 8 years old, and she's not your typical 8-year-old. Like, she is tough, and she is so brilliant. She's the one who said, "Mom, I don't want to go to Cleo's. I want to go to a studio where they use a needle because it's sterile, and I don't want to lose my ear." I was like, "Girl, you do you." And I told her, I was like, "All right," we were in the car. I was like, "Now listen, they're going to stick a needle in your ear and it's going to hurt. Are you sure you want this?" And she was dead set on it. And that wouldn't, that child laid on that table and he stuck a needle in her ear and she didn't even cry. She flinched. Oh, she winced a little bit, but she laughed. She laughed. He's sticking a whole thing. I love her. I love her so much. I'd love her if she was, she's dramatic. Don't get me wrong. But she is so tough. Man, these kids are tough. They're strong. And have faith. Like, I have all these friends that are really nervous for their children. I'm not scared. I'm raising warriors, brother. I'm raising the future. I'm changing the world through them, through teaching them to be radically empathetic, teaching them that bullies are just hurt instead of telling them to fight. I'm like, when someone bullies you, that usually means a couple different things. That means that they're hurting on the inside. That means that they're not happy with themselves. And they know that. To hear them tell me that, to hear them repeat that to other people, that's the future right there. I am not scared. I am not scared for this generation because I have seen, of course, they're going to have the lost ones. Every generation has the lost ones, but man, there are some leaders there. Man, like, I've seen so many kids, especially Audrey's age, like just 8-year-olds, like that have more discernment and strength and wisdom than people my age. Sometimes my kid stops me in my tracks with some of her ideas, and I'm like, where did that come from? But then I remember I'm her mom, so who knows? But yeah, I don't have fear for the future, for the children, because there's still power here. I still have power. I have the ability to raise a future generation that will not break us, that will do good in this world, that will honor the earth, that will honor human life, and will not have to radically heal for a majority of their lives. That's so cool to me. And that's why I was given the gift of children, because I am not fearful for them. Now, I do protect them, and I'm a little bit of a helicopter, but I'm not going to live in fear I'm not going to let fear rob me of the joy of having these precious individuals in my care. I know what my mission is with them. And I have fought tooth and nail to provide this for them. I have broken myself completely open so that I don't bleed all over them with my pain and my trauma. I'm stopping that generational curse of being unhealed and having children and then projecting onto them all of my problems. I'm not doing that. And so now I get to see the fruits of what I've done through them. They are so free. They are so happy. They are so at peace. They are so spoiled rotten. My God, they are spoiled rotten. But they're the future. And if they're the future, I actually am not afraid. The radical empathy from my children, insane. Insane. It makes me so happy to hear them. I'm going to leave you with a few things because I am rambling now. My next episode will be an interview. And I look forward to moving forward with these conversations. I look forward to offering a different perspective other than just my own. As much as I love to talk all the time and hear myself talk, I think it's, like I said before, it's time for me to share my friends with you all and hopefully offer a different perspective on life and living in this state and living in this city. And we are looking for sponsors for this podcast. So if you have any information or if you know of someone that would be interested in sponsoring a small-time podcast, I do not have any kind of tiered incentives yet. It's all going to depend on exactly who's interested. So if you do have any interest or you know someone who may be interested, please shoot me a message. You can message me here on YouTube. You can message me on TikTok. You can message me on Instagram, Facebook. Any of those platforms will be fine. Feel free to send me a message. Or if you would like to send an email, it is diaryofanobody@gmail.com. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like to inquire about anything at all. And with that said, friends, I am going to leave you with this. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. And just remember that you are special. And I look forward to continuing this journey with you all. Thanks. Be good to yourself. Love you. Bye.
Your imaginary friend ain't better than mine. You can't just use religion to justify your crime. And now you're asking for forgiveness. I couldn't believe your lack of conviction to make me roll up my sleeve. I said you're easy, the logic, they call it common sense. You save so many lives if you tear down the fence.